Greetings and salutations. Hello and namaste, my friends. Welcome to a little bit of behind-the-scenes nonsense. An episode between the episodes. Just a little insight into just how ridiculously slow and ponderous trying to do something like this is by oneself. At least, in my experience. I want to make a universal greeting card in the style of something that you might say, you might see perchance, theoretically speaking, in like a Disneyland ride in the style of It's a Small World. Specifically, I think of that because they do indeed translate all the same basic shared language that is the little song that they're singing. Don't sue me, monstrous in too big to fail giant corporation that is the Monstrous Mouse. I'm just referencing the common experience of having ridden that ride, and the I think the personally, I genuinely think it is delightful when we invest in the collaborative bridge crossing that is contemplating our different languages through common text, right? At any rate, there is this list that exists in my whatever you call it, my dashboard. Is that one of those trendy words that they don't use anymore? About my analytics, about where people are listening to this awkward and sometimes quite disheveled podcast product that I peddle at you, my friends, totally for free, purely for the trying to ride the wave of online monetization lifestyles, trying to build an audience, a community, so that I can dedicate myself and actually hire people. You can help by listening to more episodes. The more episodes you listen to, the more of a real show my little podcast becomes. As if it were some kind of dystopian fantasy nightmare of like becoming the real thing by bootstrapping itself. Because I'm genuinely sitting here by myself doing this level of tedious work in order to reach out to the world out of genuine appreciation and love and support. So don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining for the sake of being a dick. I'm complaining, I'm mildly, playing at complaint for the sake of comedy. But I really do want to make like the meme or this little mini series. I need to make a triptych. Everything wants to be three things usually, and I try to either make it all one thing, which doesn't always work out, or I make it into three things, and then I get a little weirded out about posting it that way. I digress, though. I want to make a meme that says, originally, and let me share with you some deep insight, because if you don't listen to this, you'll never know, and you'll just see the finished product, and you'll be missing out on this funny, hilarious series of totally meaningless incidents that just happened to me, and that are happening to me now, live in front of you, on tape, as you listen to this in the future. I don't have the mastery of multiple languages, right? But in the not-too-distant future, every device will be able to automatically translate whatever I utter, write, narrate to myself, probably absentmindedly while I don't even realize the machine is paying attention. The devices are already there at an intrusive level. If you've got one of those pesky robot lady speaker machines, like, it's listening to you all the time. And I'm not being paranoid. The only way it can respond usefully at any point in time that you might ask for it is for it to be listening all the time. Otherwise, if it's off and it's not listening, it won't know you have said the word that is its name. Right? I'm not trying to be weird. I don't know if I'm allowed to say Alexa, listen to my podcast. I don't know if that would happen. I don't want to try it now because then I hear that that's a way to get sued. I don't want to get sued for that. But anyways, the point is, I'll probably have to cut all of that out. I want to make the visual meme, if not the actual audio meme of either my voice or some robot lady translator voice. And I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to crank up all the media player volumes on this device to see if it picks up all right on that device.
ご挨拶とこんにちは。
That was really louder than I thought it was going to be. Wow. Okay. I don't know if that picked up well on this other device that I'm recording this behind the scenes episode. But I want to, if that works, I'll be able to edit together a nice little audio version video with audio meme at some point. But I am indeed copy pasting from this Translate app, which for this hot second, oh, did I not copy that one? I didn't. Turn it all. Boom. Okay. And I'm pasting it over. And so I started with, and here's the funny thing. Here's the like if you never listened to this special deluxe behind the scenes episode, you'd never know. Because I don't think I'm going to talk about it anywhere else, right? It's kind of meaningless, but it's cute and adorable. I laughed at myself. I wanted it to say, originally, hello and namaste. Because I honestly and genuinely, in my own personal real life, do indeed say hello and namaste to people. I'm not claiming to be from India. Let me be clear. And I hope that doesn't offend people that I just had to clarify that. On whichever direction anyone might take offense of that statement. Please, I'm not trying to offend people. I love that saying. And I have been chastised by postmodern spiritual, and here I'm borrowing language from the bullies side of the fence, not because I want to bully anybody, but because sometimes the shoe almost really does fit. But there are indeed some spiritual, wackadoodle new age nut jobs that believe a really crazy kookmeyer, self-contradictory, conflating cornucopia of things, generally and generically labeled spiritual, and that to spend their practical real life time basically just being a regular flawed human individual running around judging people and making other people's lives hard whenever possible. The usual mire of ego traps. I don't say that judgefully. I say that as a statement of generalized fact. And I am remembering a specific incident, but I'm not trying to offend that person. I'm not trying to call that person out. I'm not trying to hold them accountable even. I'm way past that. There's forgiveness and love. It is a funny incident though. So in the abstract, let me tell you, I have been chastised by someone for saying hello and namaste because it was so a whatever from however many years ago trend and was no longer cool and no longer carried any kind of spiritual currency, especially if I wasn't hip deep in my own, and I'm paraphrasing here, I'm not quoting the person directly, I'm paraphrasing and unpacking what I understood them to mean, which of course we all know there's a huge gap there, right? No matter what you say, there's the audience author fallacy. And that doesn't mean that somebody lied. That means that there's a physiological, psychological, spiritual, language, modality gap problem. GAP as in mind the gap. Problem as in it's a thing we measure that we don't know how to build around. We don't know how to fix this thing. But whatever the author intended, whoever the author might have been, whatever they intended, the readers or the audience, the receivers of their creation, whether the authorship is literally written words or only figuratively in some other art form or media, the author's intentions will be only ever so approaching accurately understood. And the wide majority of people will take away an increasingly probabilistically errant, as in not quite correct, to the point of being totally incorrect, misguided understanding of what they think, what they've decided personally the author meant. And that's just the way we're just stuck in that jam. People are. Like, when anybody says anything, whoever the performer of the speech, the act of communication might be, the listeners will walk away, scratch their head and or their bum, or both, and interpret it whatever the fucking fucked up way that they think they ought to interpret it. And there's nothing anyone can do about either of it, because it all kind of happens under the skin, as it were. We don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. But let me reel things back in for you, folks. I want to make a meme, for I am a humble meme farmer of origins unknown. And that's a role I want to cosplay and develop into like a movie someday, right? Like a little character that is that. Some sort of not human person. A person that is truly fully personish, quite personhoody, having achieved personhood in their own locality, but is not. Anyway, that's not. Reeling it back even further. This meme wanted to say, originally, hello and namaste. And then I was like, you know what? That'll just be the word namaste over and over again. Maybe occasionally in different fonts / different alphabets, but mostly just redundant feeling. I don't want to get that redundant with the visual thing. I want to communicate something similar. I wanted a version with an ampersand, but I also wanted to see every language's version of the word, the actual word, and. Right? Because I knew I wanted to, like, hello and something hello kind of phrasing. I even, originally, before I wrote anything down, I toyed with hello and hello. But I thought that was really... And then, of course, I remembered that in video game world, for myself as a, quote, gamer, although I know a lot of people who really are overqualified in the term and would judge me as not gamer enough. And there are people who don't touch games and would judge me way too harshly as being way too much of a gamer, more of a gamer than I actually am. And there in that Venn diagram of people projecting onto me, do I exist? Both in terms of gamering and general sociopolitical commentary, I think. Sort of axiomatically juxtaposed by polemics that other people self-identify with, not so much my own, right? Like, I digress. The meme that I wanted to make, I wanted it to be, like, rhythmically repetitive in as much as that you knew it was the same phrase saying or being said over and over again in different languages. Akin to seeing, at the airport, welcome, over and over again in different languages, right? Because people do that, either because they're standing around welcoming people, or because the airport itself has put up welcome signs, or whatever. Some variation between all those things. I wanted it to be unique. And in gaming land, I often would say greetings and salutations, with salutations being a little bit on the sort of like, borrowing from the world of regimented military type thinking, and inclusive of like some sort of actual, and I'm literally gesticulating. Don't weird out. That word isn't as dirty as it sounds. I'm literally making a sort of salute sign, like salutations as in like I salute you, in a casual sort of I'm not in the military, but we can honor each other without being in the military, as a sort of, there is some sort of point to like, I salute you, and give you some sort of honor-bound respect akin to militaristic thinking, but not necessarily derived from therein directly. A weird, because we're in games, right? And I'm a weirdo and I ramble, and even within game chat, like, even for game chat, like, tightened down and truncated as much as you might get it, I still sort of am a bit of a long-winded character. So I tried that, literally, greetings and salutations. And that failed because for whatever reason, that tends to translate in most languages into the same word in this particular translatey webby bits that I went to. After trying a few things. And then I realized that actually I had to fudge it and go greetings and hello. But I cheated and used greetings and namaste for Hindi, because that's where it comes from. And I get weirdly, I get asked by Americans, and I say that explicitly because I'm technically not an American, right? I love this country. I'm not anti-America. I'm most certainly not anti-government. I am anti-statism as an ideological, over-reliance on government. And there's a fine hair being split there. I'm I'm pro-human everything. So, we need order and civil duty, and we need to take these calls of freedom and blah, blah, blah seriously. Right? But also, aren't we talking meat sacks first? We got to cope with our very real, observable, repeatable, measurable reality, organic and mysterious. For we must not just presume it lacks mystery. Language is one of those fun things, quite mysterious if you really start to think about it. But I digress. I digress back beyond the digression. It turns out that, yes, greetings and hello, or rather, salutations and hello. Hello and salutations. Salutations and hello turned out to be the best ones, I think. Because greetings and salutations kind of means very much the same thing in their fundamental usage of those two words. But I'm a weirdo, and now I'm sort of generating, and I'm getting cool, and to extend the context of why am I doing this? It might be a question that may or may not be burning in your mind. What am I translating? Greetings and hello? Or, I guess greetings and hello is what I'm actually translating. That's what's in Google Translate. And I just translated that to, I think, Japanese. Let me go back. If I go back to French, salutations et bonjour.
Salutations et bonjour.
She got cut off.
Salutations et bonjour.
There we go, I like that. If I replace greetings with salutations, would it stay the same? I think it will stay the same. Salutations? Yes. Salutations et bonjour. Oh, wait. Greetings and salutations is what I was really doing it. Because it was translating greetings and salutations into the same word, and they were just being really extra redundant in all the languages. But I want to keep salutations, and I also want to hear the individual. And here's why. Why am I making this meme? Why am I translating these words into all the words? Oh, in Hindi, that translates, no matter how you typed it, it all translates into namaskar, aur namaskar. Let's listen to that one.
Namaskar or namaskar.
Aur namaskar. Okay, so that's why I chose to change it to namaste for the nuance. And because I literally say both greetings and salutations and hello and namaste. And then, it gets its own fun. I'm not going to copy that one over again. German. Okay, cool. That all works. Okay, cool. I can keep with that. And then, here's the big reveal. In terms of countries from which human individuals seem to be listening to my podcast, according to the official listing of analysis, which is rated by... Hold on, let me open... Oh, I can't do this without losing this page. I'll do this in a hot second. There's some rating systems that the platform with which I create and distribute this delightfully awkward podcast uses, which is supposed to be like the industry standard. So according to that, my humble little podcast is being distributed to and listened to, not in overwhelmingly huge numbers, mind you, not yet. ... I say with earnest, yet humble, aspirational, hopes of manifesting a wider audience at this global scale. Because if you're even at the like small and simple and humble and not very impressive numbers, which anyone would easily choose to turn and mock, the fact that it is curiously so international is quite delightful and fun, and I think awesome and worth celebrating and worth including in my own materials, whatever you would say marketing is. I don't know why I wanted to say it in French. I guess just to make it sound hoity-toity. My own self-aggrandizing propaganda designed to entice others to maybe consider checking out my silly, ridiculous, rambling AF podcast. I think naturally should, as a sort of case study, include this wide-ranging diversity that is so global in its scope. And I don't say that with too much hubris, I don't think. I'm sure I'll get accused of it. And I don't say that like as a sort of like me bigger, more important than anybody else. But I sure as heck won't deny the nice little feather in my cap that it is, however small, right? Because it isn't massive numbers. Not yet. I wish it were. I hope it is. Please, oh please, dear gods of podcasting and audience building. I say to offend everyone and tickle everyone's fancy. But here we go, friends. In descending order, with numbers undisclosed for the purposes of just, not being too embarrassed, exposing myself to too much ridicule, because they are quite small. I'm being real, right? Like, they aren't in the thousands or anything. But there they are. Real AF. And diverse as any diversity could want. And I want to reach out and say hello and greetings, salutations, namaste, my motherfucking brothers and sisters from around the world in the following various countries: India, United States, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Japan, Canada, Barbados, South Africa. And please, I'm going to pause here. If I at any point mispronounce anybody's nation state name, I sincerely apologize. Czechia? I don't know how you pronounce that one. I think it used to be called Chechnya, and now there's no N. Czechia. I'm not entirely sure what country that is, but hello out there. The Philippines, Brazil, Belgium, Vietnam, Australia, Chile, Zambia, Italy, Austria, Netherlands, Turkey, Sweden, Niger, Mexico, and Mauritius. That's a country's name I'm unfamiliar with. Hello and namaste to all of you delightful human beings that happen to have, plopped out of another human being in some location or another, distributed randomly around this entire living planet of ours. And thank you for listening. And I want to honor all that by making this meme. And it's been quite ridiculous and fun trying to do it. And now I'm going to stop rambling as I continue to translate this into all of those different languages. Did I already do Japanese? I did. And Spanish. Okay, which one's next? Canadians don't have their own language besides French, right? I don't think they have, it's not like a completely different dialect, is it? French Canadian. And I'm not entirely sure what language is spoken in Barbados. Besides also possibly maybe French, and now also English. But I hope to reach out and send my warmest regards to everybody that's been listening, and say thank you for tuning in and giving it a chance to percolate and hopefully entertain a little, and maybe even encourage and inspire you to pursue your own inner seeking beyond the places of language and psychology and ideology, because it is only, I think, as I have been humbly trying to suggest throughout the duration of this show in various ways and formats, that in that place there, each of us, no matter who we are, no matter where we are, no matter under what conditions we find ourselves, we can find the transcendent evidence, which builds to these sort of nearly science fiction-y sounding claims of a living universe and a healing forgiveness that will allow us to transcend instead of win some war. But I've rambled enough as it is for this recording. May peace, love, and grooviness, both literally and figuratively, blossom in your heart. Peace out.